Happy New Year, everyone. It's Andrew, day 2 Dryden, recording here again for Nikachu MTG. Today we've got a little bit of an interesting feature for you. We're going to be playing Burn in Modern, but as sort of a interesting twist, people have been asking for Nikachu and I to play against each other. They want to see the Merfolk Burn matchup and how it works and all that stuff. It helps that we're friends, I guess. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Nikachu is going to be recording separately on his end, and I'm going to be recording on my end, and we're going to post both videos, and so you can kind of see maybe, I don't know, we're going to see how the games play out. I don't really know what to expect too much. I know generally he's a very good player. Well, he's always a very good player, but generally being on the play and having access to enough mana to cast our spells is really important on the burn side, right? Spreading Seas can sometimes be an absolute back-breaking card in the matchup. In addition to that, the Merfolk deck just has a lot of really great interaction. They've got counter spells for our, Boros Charms and Lightning Helixes, our Searing Blazes. They've got interactive creatures. Things like Tidebinder Mage, traditionally, or even Harbinger of the Tides, and Merfolk Trickster. They're all very good at sort of slowing the game down to the point where a Merfolk deck can just drop like Master of Waves, and if we don't have enough burn spells in our hand, or we haven't done enough damage at that point to be able to just finish the game off, it ends pretty quickly, right? So that's kind of how that works. Eidolon is also not always at its best. On the play, it's generally pretty good, and when they don't have Aether Vial, it's generally pretty good. But if either of those things happen, if they have an Aether Vial on the play, Eidolon can look really, really bad, and ends up usually dealing more damage to us than it does to the opponent. So, yeah, generally, against good Merfolk players, I would say that Burn is it's a tough matchup for Burn. That being said, it certainly is possible to go Goblin Guide. They go pick anything, even Curse Catcher or something. You go land, drop a Searing Blaze, attack in again, right? You've gone, they're at 13 at this point now. They've got nothing on board, and you've got a Goblin Guide, right? So there are definitely rollouts that can just wreck them, but it's tough. So and we're probably going to see some of that. So this is the deck. I'm pretty sure this is the deck that I used for the December sideboard guide. I'm pretty sure. If it's not, it's very close, but I'm pretty sure it is. So we're going to use this list, and I've got a Merfolk sideboard plan ready to go. So we're going to also see how... we haven't done a lot... Nikachu and I have both been very busy the last month, and even before that. So we haven't had a chance to do a lot of practicing against each other. So my Merfolk plan might be a little bit different than what I would like, and I don't know it yet. And the same thing could be true for his Burn deck, but he plays Burn more often than I play Merfolk online, right? There's more... I don't usually run into Merfolk players too often, just because of the number of people that are out there playing it. So quickly go through the deck here. All right, we have our normal mana base for the most part. Still running 20 lands, something with things like Anger of the Gods, and the sideboard, and with the Destructive Revelries, I really do want to be able to make sure I hit my land drops. Very important to curve out. In addition to that, the 3 Inspiring Vantage, 3 Sacred Foundry. You could go one more, either. Well, you probably wouldn't go. No, sorry, you wouldn't go 4 Sacred Foundry. You could do a 4th Inspiring Vantage and cut down to 2 Sacred Foundry. Or if you're playing the red-white version, you could probably even shave maybe a fetch land or something like that. Or if you're playing the red-white version, actually scratch that. The first thing you would cut is the Stomping Ground to probably add another Inspiring Vantage. So a little bit of play to the mana base depending on what you want and what version you're running, but that's how that works. Generally, again, my rule is to never have fewer than 10 fetch lands. I think I'm holding true to that, right? Yeah, 3, 3, and 4. So we have 10 fetch lands, 3 basics, and then all the colored sources here. So our 1-drops are, again, Goblin Guide. Fantastic card. You want to get it in early, get some damage going. Even if you draw them lands, even something against like Tron, you want to get early damage in. Doesn't matter if they're going to drop a Karn on turn 3 or even turn 4 if you're just going to kill them on turn 4 with burn spells to the face. It doesn't matter, right? You just want to get them dead as quick as possible. And this helps that aggro plan. Lavamancer is a bit of interaction. It's really good for your curve. There's a lot of times where you sort of have to pick between playing, like if you have three lands in play, you sort of have to pick between which one of my 3, 2 mana spells do I have in my hand that I want to cast. So this is a really good card for squeaking out extra points of damage against maybe some incidental life gain. It helps use your mana as best as you can, and it helps against problematic small creatures, right? It's better to use a Grim Lavamancer to get, exile a couple of fetch lands, get a blocker out of the way, and then get in with Goblin Guide repeatedly, right? That's fantastic. So something to think about there. It can also be that little bit extra that maybe lets you kill a 4 toughness creature or even a 5 toughness creature, right? Maybe you drop a land, fetch, Searing Blaze, and then Lavamancer can finish it off, right? Take out like a Thought-Knot Seer or something big like that. Once you get to 4 toughness, it gets pretty tough, as funny as that works. In addition to that, yeah, we got Lava Spikes, Lightning Bolts, Swift Spears. Right now I'm running 2 Skull Cracks in the main deck. Some people running 3. I have seen some red-white versions run as high as 4. It's possible, yeah, that's legitimate, but I like 2 at least. But I think you definitely want 4 overall in the 75. This also might be helpful if we do have Spreading Seas hit us, because as you can see, it's one of the only cards in the deck that can utilize the generic mana cost. So this can be really big. I'm pretty sure I want to bring these in against Merfolk. Again, Eidolon, it's a great card in a vacuum. Might not be great in all the matchups here, but we're going to see. Merfolk's, again, just one of those decks that we don't always line up well against. Searing Blaze is fantastic. Excuse me. If it can resolve, it's great, right? Especially against a creature-based deck like Merfolk. Merfolk has a bit more interaction and disruption than some decks do, but generally killing a creature and dealing damage to the face is the 2 things you very much do want to do. Boros Charm, a little bit tough again with the mana cost, but it's got a bunch of text. Anything with this much text and that costs this much, generally, you're really enjoying that, right? Generally, it's worth playing, and in this case, it's no exception. 2 mana, 4 damage to the face is a great rate. That's what's going to pretty much matter in this matchup. Sometimes the Indestructible and sometimes the Double Strike can matter, but I'm pretty sure against Merfolk, 4 to the face is what we're going to be looking to have happen. Lightning Helix is great in racing situations, and that can be what this matchup comes down to, so this might be important as well, although again, the mana cost is a bit difficult at times. And then Rift Bolt, again, our honorary 1 mana spell, but it's great at removing problematic permanents. It also, excuse me, sorry, it's January 1st, I'm still feeling a little bit, I don't want to say under the effects, because it wasn't like I was too outlandish or anything, but the holiday break has taken a toll on me. So the Rift Bolt can also use that generic mana if we do get Spreading Seized. It can that can be a very, very relevant factor. Sideboard, Path of Exile, probably good against Master Waves. I think we want to bring that in. Searing Blood, again, great against creatures. We'll probably bring Skullcracks in just because of the generic mana cost. I think we want Revelries because of if you just have one type of target, like for example Aether Vial, I usually don't want to bring these in. I don't find it's too important. But with a deck like Merfolk, where they're going to have Spreading Seas and Aether Vials, you're almost guaranteed to have a target. I do want to bring the Revelries in, and sometimes they can just shut down a hand, right? They keep a 1-line hand with an Aether Vial, you blow up their Aether Vial, maybe they just don't even have a game. Anger of the Gods, I think I bring one of these in. Again, it's helpful with the generic mana cost. It wipes out a whole bunch of creatures, so it's pretty good there. But I have to double check and see what I've written down, so I'll have to do that. Either way, though, this is what's going to be happening today, so make sure to check out Nikachu's half of this, or if you've already checked out Nikachu's half of this, welcome to the burn side. Hopefully you enjoy the match, and yeah, we're going to have some fun here. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in these games. Okay, so I tried to get the chat window in the video so you could sort of see what we're saying to each other, but it's not working out, so too bad. I'll have to watch live for my witty commentary and his rebuttals. I could text him, I guess. I have my cell phone here. Anyway, we're on the play, which is great. This hand is pretty strong. We have an Eidolon on the play. They might not have an Aether Vial, and outside of that, we got some pretty strong spells here, so I'm going to keep this hand. We also have the two important colors. Again, this is before sideboarding, so we don't need the green mana for Destructive Revelries. The one thing I'm debating is whether or not I want to suspend this Rift Bolt. Oh, whoops. I didn't put keep, sorry. Hopefully he thinks I'm tanking on my decision. But I think I'm going to suspend this Rift Bolt just because it takes a while to get going. So I think that's what I would do even in the dark, even not knowing what matchup I'm playing against. Suspending the Rift Bolt is nice too because if they do want to do something in the dark, like keep a Birds of Paradise hand or something like that, it can be good for like, because I don't have any other removal if like I was against an opponent who would do that, so it's a good way to start. Oh, and they do have that Aether Vial. Oh, ooh, good turn one play! Exclamation point! Good turn one play, Nikachu. That's why he's the master. So obviously you're going to bolt the face. Fetch land is good. I'm going to be really annoyed if he ends up just using a Spreading Seas next turn. So my decision right now is between Sacred Foundry or Bloodstained Mire. I could use Bloodstained Mire to just get a basic, and then I still get the Sacred Foundry in case I get Spreading Seas. But, I mean, like, hypothetically, he goes Spreading Seas into Spreading Seas. I think we're pretty good if that's what he's doing with his turns because of this Eidolon that we're about to land. But the other option is that if that does happen, that worst case of scenarios, I'm basically just paying 2 extra life again for the Sacred Foundry. But if he spends his turn to just put a Spreading Seas here, he's going to take 2 damage. He's not going to be adding to the board. So I think I'm okay with that. Eidolon showing why it is good, especially good on the play. Although, again, this Aether Vial is going to hamper some of its effectiveness. So Mutavault out, so we don't have to worry about Lords, we don't have to worry about Merfolk Trickster, we don't have to worry about Harbinger of the Tides. We can't... I wonder if I could... if this is all that happens, I could hypothetically just attack in with the Eidolon if he wanted to do something. I don't know exactly what list he's running. I've seen some of his recent decks, but I don't know exactly what he's doing for Spell Pierce. I don't know exactly what he's doing for Curse Catcher or for that other card that I can't think of off the top of my head, unfortunately. The one that exiles cards if they're not cast. I can't. Mistbinder? No, not whatever. I can't think of the card off the top of my head. So, I basically want to... Well, the Swift Spear has to come out. That's the first thing. So, I could hypothetically attack in. If he wants to animate this Mutavault, I mean, he would need something like a Dismember to be able to do anything. And if he's playing Dismember, that means he is taking 6 damage to kill one of these creatures. So, I think I'm okay with that. And I don't even know if his lists are running Dismember right now. I think they might be. The other option is to hold up Boros Charm. I can't really do that well if he's running Curse Catcher. He like blocks Mutavault on the Eidolon. I try to Boros Charm. Curse Catcher comes in to counter as it. So then basically what I've done is I've traded an Eidolon for a Mutavault, which right now doesn't seem to me to be the good play. So I definitely want to be able to hold on to this. It would be nice if I had a Bolt or another instant speed spell in my hand. But I think I'm okay just Lava Spiking and getting in with Swift Spear. I think that's what I want to do. The Prowess trigger means that Swift Spear can't be profitably blocked. by the Mutavault. So the other thing about playing or attacking with the Eidolon, if it didn't even just die, is if the other thing is, again, I'm playing around a Spreading Seas a little bit. Not real. I'm not. I don't want to fetch with this mountain or with this Bloodstained Mire if I don't have to. Sorry. The other thing about playing around with Eidolon by not attacking, even if he did want to block and get rid of his Mutavault, is something like a Harbinger of the Tides or something like that would be able to bounce it with this Aether Vial. So that would sort of set me back somewhat considerably. And he could just start putting his board out. At this point, I've got 7 points of burn in my hand. So, okay, that second island is a big deal. So at this point I've got, 7 points of burn in my hand. He's at 12. This Aether Vial is buying him a little bit of time, obviously, because, again, he can play spells around it. So let's see what's coming into play. Trickster. Okay, so Trickster, tap down Eidolon. That makes sense. So now we might see him be able to use this, right? Because now Eidolon can't... this is an interesting line. If he's going to copy this Eidolon. He does, too. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know if that's where he wants to be. I'm going to... against this opposing Eidolon now. Now I am tempted to maybe... you know what? That's okay. Even just getting a... I'm thinking about Searing Blaze versus having a second white source. That's helpful. Okay, so now we basically don't have to worry about playing around Spreading Seas. So if he has Spell Pierce, I'm in big trouble, because my plan right now is to attack in and have my board basically trade with his. Though even if that happens, that's fine, because he'll either take a bunch of damage, and he'll take damage from his own, like, say, Spell Pierce or something. And then I'll be able to sort of counter back, because, that's what I think. So I think we attack in, and then we are able to Boros Charm, and then even suspend a Rift Bolts post-combat if we want. So we're going to see how they block. But I think keeping the pressure on is the really important thing here. That's fine. That's fine. So we definitely want to save the Swift Spear. And we don't have to worry about... And this is good, too, because we can just use the damage mode. I don't have to protect my Eidolon from his Eidolon. So even if he counters this, that's fine, because he would take 4 damage, and he would have gone to 2. So, at this point, I'm just going to suspend this Rift Bolt. Can I die? I don't think I can die, because because there's 2 Eidolons out. This is relevant. So let's see. He attacks me with the Mutavault and the Eidolon. I go to 6. I can cast like 1 more spell. That's not irrelevant. And actually do this, I'd have to go to 9. So hold on, 9, 5. I get to cast like 1 more spell. But he goes to 3. Well, we need to win soon, and we need to hope he doesn't have a lot of great cards in his hand. There's just no way around it. So, we might... It depends what is in Nikachu's hand here, but this could go the wrong way. One point of damage would make a big difference. For example, if he were at 5 life, this Rift Bolt that's going to come off suspend, and either of these creatures would make it lethal. If he drops some Master Waves here, we're pretty much hooped. Unfortunately. Because Master Waves won't get triggered by Eidolon. But, yeah. So Master Waves pretty much seals the game for him. This is a strong play too. That Aether Vial made a big difference. So I pretty much need him to not have a 2-drop in hand, which I don't think is very likely, knowing what the deck runs. But so we go to 1. That's not helpful. So, yeah, is there a way to play around this? So if we attack in and he doesn't have a 2-drop, we've got it. I don't think that's extremely likely, though. If we don't attack in, either way, we can't beat a 2-drop because we're at 1 life. Because if he vials it in, he'll be able to attack. So the only way we are able to win at this point is if he doesn't have a 2-drop in hand. And yeah, so that's okay. So now unfortunately we weren't able to pull this off. The opposing Eidolon was enough. And the Mutavault, which dealt damage. Yeah, so maybe I was too aggressive last turn. But, so now if I attack in, he blocks. I still can't cast any spells because he's got this Eidolon. And if I don't attack in, he's got 3 creatures. Again, I can't cast any spells. So, I just have to misplay around him. I have to hope he misplays, which... he won't, because again, he's a very good player. But I need to hope that there's some way. So this just can't happen. So yeah, that's game. Okay, unfortunate. But you know, I should have done this ahead of time. I should have tried to find out what my sideboard guide was. But yeah, so the Eidolon giveth and the Eidolon taketh away, unfortunately. It's the way it is. I'd be interested to rewatch that. Again, Merfolk's tough. It's really hard. They've just got so much interaction while being able to keep their own game going, right? Like, they just added to the board, copied the Eidolon. They were able to slow me down just enough with a couple of Merfolk Tricksters, you know, and they were able to get damage in without paying life for it with the Mutavaults, right? So Merfolk, what I've got is at least 2 Revelries. Oh, sorry, this is on the play, yeah. So we want 2 Revelries. I know Nikachu specifically doesn't like Spreading Seas on the play or on the draw as much, doesn't find it's fast enough. So specifically against him, and it's probably just good in general. He's probably right in general. So on the play, I only bring in 2, excuse me, Revelries. We want 2 Searing Bloods. We take out 2 Skullcracks. Oh yeah, because of we don't have to worry as much about the We don't have to worry as much. You can still lose to Spreading Seas, but we don't have to worry as much about the Spreading Seas. And hopefully the idea is that we can race and win. We didn't do it that game on the play, but the idea is hopefully we can race and win on the play, and so the racing benefit of the life gain from Lightning Helix isn't as important. So this is what I've got. Although there's a lot of play to a lot of these cards. In fact, I really want like maybe one Path to Exile, just to get rid of like Master of Waves. That's the big one. I'll cut one Rift Bolt for one Path to Exile, but just as like, I don't know. That's pathetic. I probably should find room for a second path if I want to have any. But off the top of my head, that's what I want to do. This hand is really strong if we draw land, and my rule generally is to have at least 3 1-mana spells you can cast, and we in fact have Swiftspear into like a whole bunch of really good cards. We already have one of our 2 colors of mana, but this is one of those hands that just loses to Spreading Seas, potentially. So we'll see what happens here, but this hand's a bit of a risk, but I don't think it's unreasonable to keep it. If we draw a green source, that would be great. I was going to say if we see an Aether Vial. Wow, we drew our land. So, without a turn 1 Aether Vial, like last game, I think it's easier for me to race with this Eidolon. So while part of me is tempted to go Lava Spike into Lightning Bolt and just get in for a whole bunch, this could also represent Spell Pierce or something. So I'm going to attack in, and I'm just going to play the Eidolon. The one unfortunate part is this does leave me open to Spreading Seas, especially if I get that green source. But we don't currently have any targets for it, so I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just going to get another white source. And, I mean, hypothetically, a Merfolk deck could play something like Spell Snare, but the deck, like, never has, so that's not something I would worry about. In a blind matchup, that's something that might worry me. You're going to copy it again. It worked last time. It won't work as well this time, because I will just Searing Blaze it. Okay, no Silver Gull Adept. That's good. Revealing Mistcaller. Didn't play the Mistcaller on turn 1, so I think I think we played around Spell Pierce effectively there. I think that's what happened. I am tempted to Searing Blaze this for 1 damage, but I don't think I will. Oh, that's potentially really strong too. So if he trades off with the Eidolon, I might be fine just slamming the second one and basically shutting him out of the game. Because if he blocks here, he goes to 15. I'll play this. I'll go to 15, but I'll have more on board and more damage in hand. If he blocks here, then I'll feel silly for not Lava Spiking beforehand. But it's also pretty easy to just bolt the face, kill this, and then I could Lava Spike again, which loses out on 1 damage, but it also plays around things like Spell Pierce, and it leaves him open to this. Yeah, that's fine, I think. Well, that's not going to do much. Well, we'll see if the line works as well as it did in the last game. But we definitely have the initiative here. He's also missing double blue mana, which is huge. Land would be great. That's unfortunate. At this point, I want to get in with his Goblin Guide. So it sucks to do it before damage. But I'm just going to bolt this out of the way and get in. I go to 13. I go to 11. But he's going to go to... is it 7? So that's okay with me. I think not having double blue is really hurting him, if I were to make a guess. It will hurt him next turn if he doesn't have it, but my guess is that not having double blue is hurting his chances at the moment. I know he can play a Mist Caller, and I know he can hold up a Mutavault to block, but that's it. Not playing the Mist Caller. So I've now got a Mountain, which I can play, and hold up Searing Blaze at instant speed. But I'm okay, honestly, just getting in for 5 here, and then being able to play Lava Spike. Because, again, the only spell I think they would have that would counter it would be a Spell Pierce. So now, before blocks, I want to use this Searing Blaze. If they're going to counter it, that's fine. They'll take 2, which means they're going to go to 5, which means they're going to go to 1, no matter how they block here. So he could have a Dispel or something like that, but I mean, if he does, like, he has to use it, and again, he would go to, yeah, or Spell Pierce. That works too. Either way, it counters it, but he still takes damage from the Eidolon. So, yeah, block any way you want here, but I don't see this working out for you. And then, even though we take damage from our... Oh, no, we don't. The Eidolon's gone. Yeah, so then we just are able to finish this off here. So we got our 3rd land on time to be able to play enough spells. We were able to get an Eidolon out on the play. And without an Aether Vial to play around it, or play through it, I guess is more accurate, our opponent wasn't able to outlast it. So that was okay. So on the draw, I want Skull Cracks. I want 2 Path to Exiles at least. Still only 2 Revelries. That's interesting. Take out the Eidolons on the draw, and take out Boros Charms. Boros Charms are strong, but they're weak to Spreading Seas, and they don't answer the board, unfortunately. So what am I missing here? What am I missing? I want to add 2 Searing Bloods. Those are there. Oh, I'm missing a Rift Bolt that I took out. And I'm missing 2 Helixes, which I took out, I think. Yeah, that's 60. Only 2 Revelries. Maybe it's because I'm playing around. It's sort of like the way Nikachu advises you to... I made the Sideboard like a month ago, and sometimes it's a lot of like looking at lists and like really, really tough decisions. So... I'm willing, looking at this again, I think I'm willing to take out 1 Helix and add maybe 1 Anger of the Gods. It helps play around Spreading Seas, and it's pretty strong in these creature matchups, and we've taken out our Eidolons now, so it's not even that weak that way. I feel like I want more Revelries. But if this is the way I've gone with it, then that's fine. I feel like I want more Revelries, though. So maybe I need to relook at this list. But even still, I definitely don't dislike this plan. So we'll see what our opponent has going for us. Okay, this is a really good hand. We've got all of our colored sources that we want. We've got strong turn 1 and turn 2 plays. So yeah, we're definitely going to keep this hand. Nikachu kept his hand as well. The one unfortunate part is that we kind of need to expose ourselves to a spreading seas here. Do we have to? I really want to get the Swift Spear down. But with this Revelry, which means I need to use this one to fetch a white source, and then this one, this might be playing around. This might be like playing around my opponent too much. But again, the way I lose these games almost all the time is spreading seas. So I'm willing to bolt anything he plays here. If he doesn't play anything, I'll bolt his face. Maybe it draws out a counterspell. But I need to use my mana, so there's nothing I can do about it. Didn't. Interesting. Well, so what happens if he has a Trickster? It eats my Swift Spear, which is not nice. I really don't want to just play this Destructive Revelry and get it countered. That's the one thing. So I think the other problem is that this isn't like a fetch land. I can't find it. Like I can't not get the Stomping Ground with this. And then once, like if a Stomping Ground gets hit by a Spreading Seas, then we have no way to kill a Spreading Seas or this Aether Vial. So I think what I have to do here is, again, like, because we just get, oh man, if we don't draw third land, we're just going to get so shut down by Spreading Seas. So I think I need to play this Goblin Guide, attack in, and we'll see what happens. Master Waves. Okay, well now we also need to hurry because pretty soon that is going to end our hopes of winning this game. What could happen? Flash in Trickster. Put something else into play. He could have an expensive hand. He's got double blue, so he's got to be able to do something. Maybe he's just holding up Spell Pierces. Well, I'm not happy about this, but I might get punished by Spreading Seas here. Oh, cool. This got added to my collection and interrupted me in the middle of a game. Thanks, Magic Online. I mean, I guess thank you for the gift, but... So if he's got... Yeah, there's the Trickster. So yeah, playing the Swift Spear and the Goblin Guide would have been poor. Swift Spear would have just got eaten. Not only would the Swift Spear have gotten, well, or would have just got road blocked, one or the other. That's surprising to me. I feel like this is the one you want to hit. But maybe he's got a second one. Or maybe he's just got a Spell Pierce up. That's an option as well. Yeah, see, we're in trouble now. But even still, he spreading seized this one, which means I didn't even play around anything. So, yeah, well, we can only do the one thing we can do. And it's sorcery speed, so okay, would I have another trickster probably? Tap something down. Phantasmal image. Yeah. Oof. Well, I'm still definitely attacking in because if he trades this off before he can get this Master Wave with more devotion out, I'm fine with that. Maybe we'll draw him the land he needs for it. Oh, Aether Vial, that's fine. That's not a great draw at this point in the game. Yeah, I'm actually okay trading that off at this point because we were definitely on the back foot. The fact that he traded that off makes me think he doesn't have the land in his hand already for the Master Waves. And yeah, he's definitely clicking it up because he wants to get to that Master Waves mana, so then this happens. Yep, the Spreading Seas is really shutting us down. If we don't draw a third land, we are pretty toast here. However, if we draw a third land, if he like taps out or something, it means we can smash this Aether Vial, possibly stranding this Master Waves in his hand. So, but he's got 5 power on the board too right now. So, I mean, we're in a little bit of trouble. Sure, might as well play it out. He smartly goes for the end of the game. It's a bad draw. It's a bad draw. So, next turn there's a Master Waves coming out. We can't even block this Lord of Atlantis. Or we can't even attack into this Lord of Atlantis because I can't cast anything at instant speed. Nor can I cast the Goblin Guide and even pretend to hold something up. The Searing Blood would be really good right now if I could cast it. Assuming he doesn't get countered, right? Kill the Lord of Atlantis. Put him to 9. Attack and put him to 7. But, so just a whole bunch of bad options right now. The best of our bad options are probably... Well, it's a Lava Spike before combat or a Goblin Guide attack. And if I had to hazard a guess, I'd say that our worthy opponent probably even has a Trickster in hand. But we'll see. We will see. But yeah, this is bad. This Spreading Seas is just shutting us out of the game. It's wholly and completely shutting us out of the game. So, yeah. I think he's aware that that's what's going to happen. And even making 4 tokens is a big deal right now. Oh, you know why he might have put the Spreading Seas on the Sacred Foundry? Is he was maybe I wouldn't surprise me if he had multiple Master Waves in hand. I was trying to cut down on our ability to cast Path to Exile. That was very early in the game though, so I don't know if that makes sense. Because at this point, if I had drawn another land, I could have had the opportunity to blow this up with a Destructive Revelry and then be able to path. But yeah, so showing us the Master Waves. Yeah, we already know about at least one of those. And now at instant speed here. I don't have gut shots. Being able to cast any spell would be nice. Yeah, that's a thing. So I can't keep this Master Waves off the board anymore. If I had a Path to Exile in hand, I could try to play around him having a counterspell by attacking in with a Swift Spear. Maybe have him flash in the Master Waves and then try to Revelry and Path. But that's not really an option. I think I need to just... Can I even kill him if I attack and he doesn't block? Well, not now. If I Lava Spiked, he'd go to 9 and didn't counter anything. Go to 9. Let's say he didn't block. Let's say I Searing Blood. 6. Yeah, it still wouldn't even be lethal, so... I'm not sure what exactly I'm playing around here, but yeah, this needs to happen now. He now knows I don't have a Path to Exile as well, which is unfortunate because I didn't get the white mana, but I think I might be dead here regardless, even with the 1, 2, 3 tokens coming in. That being said, again, I am expecting a Dispel or a Spell Pierce. Oh yeah, or Deprive. That's another option. I didn't think of that. Yep, Deprive's an option. So yeah, we got slowed down way too much by the Spreading Seas, and then this Master Waves is coming in and closing out the game here. So without the Spreading Seas, I think it still would have been a close game, but I think we would have been able to win. But yeah, it's tough. Merfolk's a tough match. It just has all the right things you want. Turn 1... Well, it wasn't a turn 1 Aether Vial either. Now he's just showing off. Showing off. Oh well. Yeah, I got nothing. Oop. Look at this. Wow. Master of Waves. MOW. More like must be nice. Yeah, no blocks. Alright. Alright. Well, I think that showed pretty well some of the problems of playing against Merfolk. Yeah, you can just run them over if they just go like, I don't know, Mistbinder into Silvergill into Regery. Like you can, if you've got a fast start, you can just run them over big time. But it was, yeah. I don't think there was any egregious misplays there. They were tough matches. Again, John's a very good player. But, yeah, that was tough. Just couldn't cast any spells with this Spreading Seas on the Sacred Foundry. So, that'll be our match for today. Hopefully you enjoyed the content. Hopefully you started to see what the matchup is like and how you can do well. I guess the biggest thing to talk about, if you didn't see any egregious misplays, is the sideboarding. You can let me know what you thought about that, if you would do anything differently. But that's something I'd be interested in hearing about from the viewers. So this has been Andrew, Day 2 Dryden. Hopefully you enjoyed the match. Playing against Merfolk Master Nikachu on Channel Nikachu. Well, he's got the home field advantage after, the home sea advantage. And Happy New Year to you all. I will see you next time.